Hi, 5th grade, it's Mrs. Anselmo. This is our first spelling lesson screencast, and I'd just like to explain how it's going to work. Basically, I will be introducing a spelling lesson to you each week via a screencast, which I'm going to upload to YouTube and then post on the live binder. It's going to be your responsibility to watch that screencast and familiarize yourself with the lesson. At the end of the screencast, I will assign practice activities, and you will complete those activities at home. Sometimes you'll have time during one of our tutorials to complete them as well. When you finish the practice activities, you will have a classmate check your work, and you'll complete a spelling check sheet, which I will go over with you in the classroom, but you'll be familiar with those. You'll be using a spelling check sheet every week, and we'll have an assessment or a quiz, a test, whatever you want to call it, on the assigned spelling words about every other Friday. So it'll probably be about 2 units worth of spelling words, sometimes 3 units worth of spelling words in a test that'll be given about every other Friday, sometimes every 3 Fridays. Okay, so let's take a look at lesson 1, long A and long E words. All right. When I ask the question, what sound does long A make? Go ahead and make it if you can. If you're talking to the computer, it's okay. Long A. If you said A, you're correct. How about long E? You should all be talking to the computer and making a sound saying something like E. All right? How do you write long A and long E phonetically? And by phonetically, I mean speech sounds represented with symbols. If you said something like this, A with a line over it, or E with a line over it, I'd tell you you're exactly correct. Okay, that's how we write long A and long E phonetically. Now there are multiple spellings for both long A and long E. Can you think of some? Go ahead, shout them out to your computer. No one's listening to you, I'm sure. But maybe you thought, oh, A and a silent E. Okay, you would be right. Maybe you said AY. You'd also be right. Maybe you said EY. Good for you. You thought of that one. Maybe you thought AI. Okay, maybe think of some words with that A sound spelled AI. Maybe you thought EIGH. Okay, you did. Okay, and maybe let's talk about some of the spellings for long E. Long E. What are some of the spellings for long E? Well, maybe you are thinking about maybe you were thinking about E, silent E. Or maybe you were thinking about E, A. Maybe you were thinking about double E. Okay? What we can see is there's multiple spellings for long A, multiple spellings for long E. Here's a recap of the most common spellings for long A. AI, I think we got that one. A consonant silent E, I think we got that one. Okay, EI, did we mention that one? AY, EY, EIGH. Now, remember when we were in 2nd grade, I talked about 3 words that had EA as the vowel team that made the long A sound. Did anybody remember the 3 words that had EA that made the long A sound? We had that little sentence that we helped remember it. Over spring break. Anybody remember it? Over spring break, I had a great, I'm sorry about this printing, it's very hard to print when you're on the computer like this, steak. Okay, over spring break, I had a great steak. And those were the only 3 words that I know of that have this vowel team of EA making the long A sound. Usually when we have 2 vowels together, the first vowel does the talking. All right, and let's take a look at some of our long E spellings. EE, I think we came up with that one. EA, E consonant silent E. Oh, I don't think we came up with this one. Y by itself as a spelling for long E, like in the word happy. Okay, what letter is making the long E sound in the word happy? Well, of course, it's just the Y. Okay, I consonant E can make the long E sound. IE, we came up with IE, E, EY, like in honey, and EI. All of these words can make a long E sound. And this EI is something we have to be real careful about. When do you use EI and when do you use IE? Maybe some of you have heard this rule. Remember I before E except after C, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor or way. So it's I before E, except after C, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor or way. So generally speaking, if you're thinking of how to spell something, okay, and it makes the E sound, it's going to be I before E. Unless it comes after a C, except after C, or if you'll put E before I if it doesn't make the long E sound at all, like in neighbor or way, it makes the long A sound. All right, so quickly, let's take a look at some of these words. Long E words, long A words, both long A and E words. If I have the word foggy, where would it go? Long A word, both A and E, or long E? Foggy. That's a long E word, right? And the E sound that is in foggy is spelled with that Y, foggy. How about freight? Long E, long A, both A and E? That's a long A. What letters are making the long A sound in freight? Well, of course, it's that EI, okay? I before E, except after C, or when sounding like A in neighbor or way or freight. Doesn't really go with the poem, but same rule applies. How about daily? Daily. Long E, long A, both long A and E? Where do you think? If you said both long A and E, you were right. Okay? Daily, long A, spelled A-I, long E, spelled Y. Take a minute and see if you can figure out where some of the other words would go under long E, long A, or long A and E. I'll wait while you do that in your head. Okay. Did your words sort look something like this? With foggy, police, beneath, memory, gasoline, needle, complete, feature, all under the long E column? and freight, claim, explain, operate, neighbor, and contain under the long A, and daily and 80 having both the long A and both the long E sound? I hope so. If not, think about it. The words this week that I'm going to ask you to practice all contain that vowel sound long A or long E. All right? They will have any number of those spellings that we talked about earlier. Okay? They can have, if they're long A words, they might have the long A spelled with AI. They may have it an A consonant silent E. They may be spelled with an EI, an AY, an EY, or an EIGH. If they're long E words, they may be spelled double E, EA, E consonant silent E, a Y, an I consonant silent E, an IE, an IEE, an EY, or an EI. What you have to recognize in the words is the vowel sound, long A or long E, and then you have to make a decision about how to spell that. It's helpful if you know the choices, but ultimately it comes down to you being familiar with the words and memorizing the spelling of each particular word. So this week I'd like you to work with long A and long E words. The list appears on page 14 in your spelling book. Okay, it's on page 14. Okay, so I want you to do the writing exercises on page 14, all the writing exercises on page 15, all the writing exercises on page 16. That'll give you practice with the words, spelling the words, what the words mean, all right? And then I'd like you to skip page 17 and do the word study on page 18. So you have 4 pages of spelling to work on this week, pages 14, 15, 16, and 18. Get that done before Friday, and you'll have someone check it either at tutorial or at recess time. All right, thanks for watching.